Good morning, sunshine. Today's lesson is going to be really easy. I'd like to help you prepare for your new life, your next life. But before you can really do that, I think it's important that you be aware of this life so that you know what you're going to I can't say it. My left brain's leaving. Transition to your new world. Because this simulation is over. You can see it all around you. People are falling apart. They're disappearing. Everything has changed and continues. But that is not necessarily a bad thing. I am looking forward to the end of this 500-year simulation. I'm looking forward to my new world. And it was today, this morning actually, when I was listening to one of the Matrix stories, that kinetic symphony guy. He works so hard. He just reads other people's stories, basically. And sometimes he interprets them, and often he's wrong. But I do appreciate that he does know about soul. But what we need to know is that we are creating our next life right now. Right now. Yeah. Your next dream that you will wake up to will be an empty blank slate. You will not remember anything about the past. You're reborn, basically you're just reborn. You have a clean imagination and nothing can hurt you. There's only love all around you with your parents, right? Your mom and your dad, and if you have siblings. This is amazing. You get another chance, right? But that's what we all want. We all want another chance. We all want to live, and you know it, and I know it. We love living. We love playing with our senses, to eat and to taste, to smell the flowers. Oh my gosh, this is heaven. Oh my God, we found heaven, guys. We found heaven. But you don't know it. You can't see it like I can today. Today I can. But I was listening to, I just call him the Matrix guy. I never remember names. I'm sorry. It's all AI to me. Names and labels and whatnot. But Kinetic Symphony guy was talking about a story that he had. He has all these stories about a guy who remembered his death in his past life. And he said that he was going to be executed, and that he was in France, and he felt like he was going to be executed. And what this person was doing was talking about his thoughts at the time of his death, right? And remember, I've told you, we dwell in the state of mind we die in. But he didn't have any fear with those executioners. He just wanted them to get it over with. And to me, that's a sign that he had no feelings. That he wasn't afraid. This is a man who had no feelings. But Kinetic Symphony guy did not bring that up. Didn't even seem to notice. And he told the guy, he always gives his little answers, what he thinks going on. He said, well, that's very unusual to remember, your death like that, and then to wake up. But what I'm saying is he's not a Nazi this life. And nobody, least of all Kinetic Symphony, suggested that he was before a firing squad because he was a fucking Nazi in France. Nobody said that. Nobody suggested that. But I am. I'm saying people can be groomed to turn into anything here. You can be conditioned from birth if you pick the wrong mother or father, or simulation, or maybe you picked it on purpose. Maybe you chose your destiny. See, what Kinetic Symphony needs to know is we are the designers of our next life. And if we can't do it in our last life, because he's busy being a Nazi and getting shot up by the firing squads, then you can plan in vitro or before birth, right? And we do. That's what we do. We map out and we plan out what we really want to do. That's what we're doing when we're in death, if you will. We have to plan who we're going to live with and where we're going to go. We are not a stupid species. We're very highly intelligent, groomed to be monkeys who kill each other off. Time and time again. Just never ends. So, but kinetic energy didn't want to look at the even idea that the guy could have been a Nazi. Well, who are the Nazis then? Who are the evil people then in the last life? Who in the books, in the history books, who are the bad guys? Because they're born again. They're born again. They're new. One of them is probably a pastor living with a beautiful wife and 5 kids somewhere. Not a Nazi this life. We can be conditioned. Like I feel King James was a spirit. And I don't think anyone can argue that I think Elvis Presley was a spirit who chose his life. King James was a spirit who chose his life. And oh, so long ago, thousands of years ago, a man named Jesus came and said, "We are reincarnated. Fear not, judge not." And he looked at the Abraham book and he pointed it out clearly. He said, "We imagine from our imaginations." If you are studying these books of fear and damnation and judgment, you're going to manifest exactly that. Next time. Next time. If not this time. And so I feel the Spirit of Jesus came back 1,500 years later as King James. If we're talking about time, I really don't know about time. Time is over for me. And time is over for Earth. Time is part of the prison box. In fact, time is the first box everybody crawled into to live. In fear, of course. You know, they went to the temples in Jerusalem way back then, and they learned from men who charged a lot of money, you know, because they're giving you the God's news, so you better pay them. And you want to pay him because he is giving you God's news. And they're telling you, they're saying, if you do this, or if you don't wash your hands, pray over your food, kiss the wall, put your little carpet out and pray in this direction or that direction. If you don't wear a nun costume from head to toe in modesty in 100-degree weather, well, but all of the costumes for women came later in the Jesuit religion and Islam religion. That's when they really covered her up from head to toe. You start with the nuns, right? And you turn women into missionaries. You groom their mind to convince other people to work with the Father, the Father, the Father, the almighty, important Father. But people are not willing to entertain the idea that they could have been evil in their last life. Just can't see it. I couldn't see it in me. I can't. I still can't. I won't believe it. That I was ever evil. That could have been. But I don't think I'm a spirit who comes regularly. Really, I don't. I don't come regularly. Because I know what's going on here. It is a reincarnation trap. And Jesus did speak about it in the book of Thomas, which is not in your book, because the truth is not in your book. The truth has been omitted. And so you're basically living a life in fear, judging others from a book you don't know anything about. But you could be conditioned. King James was the spirit of Jesus, and so was Elvis Presley. They chose their roles. We're trying to come back and open your hearts and get you to change your mind, your thoughts, to water new thoughts, to prepare for the end of this simulation, because it is over. You're going to see it. You'll see it crash right around you. You're already seeing it. I mean, Elon Musk and Donald Trump, they're insane, right? And so are the people watching them. So is anybody who's been engaging in delusion or robotic behavior. You know, they're just automatically hating people for no reason. Like they hate me in Quebec just because I'm English. Like the premier of the province of Quebec often goes on the radio or TV and he reminds Quebecois that they are French and they must speak French. And so he makes up new rules. He says, okay, at the housing authority, you can only speak French. So anybody with a housing issue, sorry, no English for you, no housing support, no help. And then a few months ago or a few years ago or every year, I don't know, he came on the radio again and he said, in the hospital, no more English. No, we are a French colony. We have our rights. We are Frenchmen here in France, and we demand our sovereignty here. Pure French, or they do not get served. That's housing, that's medicine. And I've been deathly sick, and I've been living with rats, and I made it. I survived Quebec as an Anglo, and I'm going to get along fine with them. But I had to break through their anger. They're very angry, eh? They don't know why. You ask any taxi cab guy, well, why don't you like the English? Tell me why. And they say, well, I like the English. I'm from Africa. I'm a taxi guy. But they picked me to immigrate here because I speak French. They choose, Quebec chooses who to allow in. And they speak French from Africa, from India, from America, from Brazil. They're inviting the French speakers. But these new French speakers aren't used to this attitude of hatred against the English. It is hatred I've been living with. You wouldn't believe what people have done. You've got a premier shouting out ideas to people. They're going to react, especially angry people who need a target. They need somebody to take their frustrations out on. I blame you, Anglo. You fucking bitch. You're a bitch. Get out of my province. What are you doing here? You belong in British Columbia. Why are you in Quebec? That is my province. We don't want English. They don't know why they're saying that. They don't have a freaking clue. They don't even mean it. They're not serious. When they die, that's when they see it. That's when they see who they became, not who they are. They're not assholes here. Oh, I love them. I love Quebecois. I love the Premier. I love them. All of them. Yeah, me. I love them dearly because I know who they are. I know. They don't know, but I know. They're in an ego trip. They're following a program that they were raised to follow. They were groomed by their parents, by the media, by education, by the way the masses, kind of flow. And you kind of pick a role as you go along because you don't know who you are. You're going to go along with whatever way you're pushed or however way you want to go and feel. If you happen to still have feelings, you're doing your own thing. And that's good. That's very good. If my whole channel started with soul recovery with the conscience of Christ. The conscience of Christ is in all of us. Yepers. Even Premier here in Quebec, he's got a conscience of Christ. But he just forgot about it. And everybody's forgetting about it. They're not watering the conscience of Christ. You know what a conscience is, right? It's your feelings of guilt or shame, or it's your compass that tells you it's right or wrong. That is a conscience. If you're conscious of your conscience, you can't go wrong. You cannot go wrong if you're conscious of your conscience. And so, to prepare for my next dream, I'm kind of excited because it finally occurred to me today that the end of this simulation is going to be violent. It's gonna be so fucking violent because the people are violent. The people, the dogs, they're activated. They're being activated. And they use jabs. They have used jabs to remove feelings. And when you have no feeling, they use medicine. Antidepressants are to remove your feelings. And with the removal of your feelings is the removal of your conscience. Do you understand? And that's why we have so many people on these antidepressants creating so much harm out there because they don't have a conscience. And the more people on these medications, the more dangerous they are. To me. Because I've been on them. And I know all I wanted to do on them was die. Not live. Just die. And other people just want to kill. They just want to kill. Other people just want to sit there and not think and just watch football or TV soap operas and pretend nothing's going on. Pretend everything's fine. It's fine. You're a conspiracy person. It's fine. Everything's fine. Yeah. So you're in one of those groups. Suicidal, homicidal. It's fine. So You have to use your own conscience, your own feelings, to decide if everything is fine or not in your world. In your world. Forget about the outside world. In your world, is everything fine? Because in my world, it's not fine. But I'm not suicidal about it, and I am not homicidal about it. Okay? It just is what it is. And I accept. I love unconditionally. I do. I love unconditionally. And I accept everything. This saves me from a lot of bad feelings. This new thought process I've got going on really helps me bring out even more consciousness. Like every day I am filled to the rim with more consciousness of intelligence, wisdom, if you will, wisdom. And wisdom does not stop with a graduation piece of paper. Wisdom is infinite. Wisdom is infinite. Stupidity is not. Stupidity is not infinite. But wisdom is. And so it has occurred to me what's going to happen. What's going to happen is this simulation is going to end violently with fire and with rain, flooding. There's going to be a bloodbath because of all the raging people. And it's going to be a little bit of hell for just a short amount of time. I think from April 1st until May 27th is a really good time to start your homework. I think that's the best time. Actually, today is a good time. Some people like to start their schoolwork early. I hope you're one of them. And what I would recommend is that your homework involve your family, your feelings about your thread of life. Now I know that you're not going to be able to reach them, all of them, but you can't care about that. When you cross over, you are immediately a flame of Christ again. But if you have lived a life creating hell on earth, either consciously or unconsciously, for others, when you see what you have done after you were groomed, your immediate idea is to come back and make it right. Because you are a flame of Christ on the other side of this consciousness. This consciousness has very little conscience. It's in automation, and it has to be stopped. And it will be stopped now. And if we're going to stop it, what has to go with it is the word and the images of history. So that when we are back, and we are coming back, when we are back, when flowers have resumed, grass has regrown, remember there is no time, so it won't feel like any time has passed. But we will come back to earth. The only thing that will be missing is any uh, hint of the word. It'll be buried so deep, nobody will ever reach the stones with words or images. And this way, the conscience will be cleaned, and there will be nothing, no evil forces to tell us about fear or tell us about monsters. You know, there is no such thing unless we imagine and manifest, because that's what Jesus said, and I believe that. If you start imagining, you're going to manifest it eventually. And so now here we are in Revelations again, manifesting revelations again. My grandmother manifested revelations back in the 1900s there or something, whenever. We keep, if we repeat history, it's because we're reading history. You have to close the books now. Close the books now. Stop relying on outside conscience and only listen to your own, okay? Just yours. And decide what you want if you come back. What do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Don't wait to die. Don't wait until you get killed by an executioner. Plan it out now and be fearless. Like, I'll tell you, what I really want in life is not artificial. Not artificial intelligence. Because I feel spiritual intelligence can fly without an airplane. You know, I don't think we need that. I feel we can fly. I feel that we have beyond human talents that we have not even touched on yet. But we have a chance. We have a chance if we're born back into a situation where we don't have parents repeating history, we don't have books teaching us history. You want to stay away from history if you want a new future. And be who you want to be. Be creative and add emotion. You know, there's a lot to creative visualization. You know, creating in your mind is using your emotion of joy, laughter, and love as you imagine your new world coming.